Hi everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to the fall season. This month I've been pretty busy with school, but I did make some time to journal the fun things that I did this month. So I did a lot more scrapbooking in this journal than I did planning this month, but I'll show you guys what I have and then I'll show you how I planned my month of October. Alright, and that was my last page of September in my bullet journal. Now I'm going to start planning my month of October. So I'm first going to get out all of these supplies that I need to paint my October cover page. I'm going to be using the same watercolor palette that I used last month, which is the Decadent Pies palette. I also got out a piece of watercolor paper and also a clean bowl of water, and then I just have my paintbrushes that I'm going to be using. These are just watercolor paintbrushes, and then one little tube of black acrylic paint. And before I do anything, I'm just going to paste down my watercolor paper so it doesn't move around a ton. So yeah, I'm going to start by sketching out what I'm going to be painting. I decided to do a crystal ball theme this month and I'm really excited to paint it. I've actually been wanting to paint a crystal ball for a while and I thought October would be the perfect time since it's almost Halloween. So yeah, I'm just going to first sketch out my crystal ball and then I'm going to go in with watercolor for the orb part. And I'm just testing out some of the blues in this palette. They didn't really have a good red color that mixed in with their blues, so I'm adding some alizarin crimson from my other tubes that I have, and that way I can get the purple, blue, and pink mixture that I kind of wanted to go with. And if you notice when I'm painting, I'm leaving a little bit of white space between the line that I drew for the orb and the actual watercolor. So I'm just going in carefully with the watercolor for those outside parts to make sure that the circle is as rounded as I can get it. And when I'm kind of imagining what this orb will look like, I want it to have a kind of like dreamy, foggy effect to it. So I'm going in with a lot of watercolor. And I'm also bringing out my white paint as well to kind of add to the fogginess. And you'll see in a second, I'm trying to focus a lot of the pigment towards the left side, and then on the right side, it's going to be a much more faded out and lighter wash of color. And this will kind of make it look more like an orb and less like a flat circle. Now that I've gotten most of the color down that I want to, I'm just taking that white paint again and I'm just making it kind of look a little bit cloudy and washed out. And so that white paint is the perfect way to kind of add that cloudy effect to our orb. Alright, so I have completed the watercolor portion of this painting, so now I'm going to take my black acrylic paint, and this is going to be used for the background. Right now I'm outlining the orb with my paintbrush, but a much easier way to go about this is to actually take a black pen and then outline your orb first, and then you can paint around it. So you'll kind of see me first struggling to get a really crisp line with my paintbrush, so I reach for my pen and it goes a lot faster, and it's just looking a lot better than before. And now I'm just gonna fill in the rest of the background. Alright, so now that I've finished filling in the background, I'm going to take my gold paint pen and I'm going to fill in the stand for the orb. And for this you can use a gold paint pen, you can use gold paint, whatever works. So I'm just going to fill that in, and then I'm going to use my black pen to kind of create the ridges, but then I ended up not really liking it, so I'm going to take out my white Uniball Signo pen to go over that. Alright, so now I want to do some little designs and doodles around my orb. So I'm doing just a bunch of cute little lines surrounding it, and I'm leaving a little bit of space between the orb and those lines. And don't worry about if you mess up or anything, because you can just bring back out that black acrylic paint and go right over it. And that's one of the things that's really nice about using acrylic paint. It's very thick compared to watercolor, so it's really easy to go over stuff that you may have accidentally messed up on. So yeah, that's just a little tip. And I'm just going to finish this painting out by drawing a bunch of tiny little white stars everywhere. And I'm just making sure to leave a little bit of room at the top for the month and a little bit of room at the bottom for the calendar. And now that my painting is done, I just scanned it and I sent it to my iPad, and I'm just going to add in the lettering for October. This makes it really easy for me to go back in later and add whatever month I want to it, and it's also a great way to keep my original painting without adding any lettering to it. The software that I'm doing to do this is Procreate on the iPad, and I'm using my Apple Pencil to do the lettering. Alright, so now the moment of truth, printing it out on the printer for the first time. This can go really well, or it can go not so well a lot of the time. So this time it was like one and done, but sometimes it takes a lot of editing to get it to the correct quality that it originally was. And since there's no gold ink in my printer, which I wish there was, but there's not, I have to go back in with my gold pen again to kind of get that sheen and shiny effect that I originally had. Alright, so now that it's totally finished, I'm going to paste this into my journal, and I'm just going to use my double-sided tape to do that. For the right side, I want to do a important date section like I usually do. I always use this section, and it's always really helpful for me to just look at everything I need to do during the month. So I'm going to kind of try to make it match the cover page, and I'm just using those same colors that I did before to do kind of like a wash on the top. And I'm gonna actually go in with some salt, and I'm gonna sprinkle that on. Salt does some crazy things with the pigment in your watercolors, and it will actually kind of absorb some of that water and that color, and it'll leave you with like these little tiny dots. And then I wanted to add just a little pattern at the top, so I'm just going in with my white pen again, and I'm just gonna do these tiny little lines with a moon in the middle. And now that I'm done with this watercolor, I'm going to scan it and do the same thing that I did before. I'm just going to send it to my iPad in Procreate, and I'm going to add the important dates section as well as the dates for October. And now I'm just going to print that out and see how it turns out. And now I'm just going to paste this into my journal right next to my October painting. And I really like the colors that I got from this and how it matches with the orb colors. But yeah, this is how my October spread turned out. I'm really excited about how these two turned out, and I'm actually going to have them up in my shop by the time this video goes up. I'll be offering both of them as a print in my shop, and I'll also be adding them as a digital download so you guys can print them at home. But yeah, now I'm just going to set up the rest of my pages for October. I'm just going to do a little bit of planning this month, not too much, because I don't think I'll really have time to keep up with trackers or anything. But I do want to do a goals list and a to-do list just to have here for later. First, I'm just pasting in that little color swatch paper that I used for earlier, and I'm also pasting in some pictures that I found on Pinterest. And now I'm just going through and picking out the stickers that I want to use for this spread. That huge envelope of stickers was actually a compilation of all of my stickers from my shop that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted them to. So those are the stickers that I'm going to be using in my journal, and I'm just trying to add a bunch of ones that I think look kind of dreamy and go with the theme for this month. The next spread that I plan on doing is a fall theme spread, which I'm really excited about. And I also really want to do some fall painting soon. So once I get a little bit of time, I'm definitely going to do that. But yeah, this is how this kind of mystical, magical themed spread turned out. I think it goes really well with the theme that I did this month, and I'm just really excited to start October. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun setting up my October pages, and I can't wait to see some of your guys' recreations of it. Make sure to tag me in any recreations that you guys do on Instagram so I can see them, and you can follow me there to kind of see what I'm up to during the month, since I don't have a ton of time to post on YouTube. But I am going to be putting up a sticker making video in the next couple weeks, so look out for that one.